Hi everybody, my name's Katie and I am a biology lecturer at the Burnley College Sixth Form Centre. And today what we're going to be looking at is making squidgy eggs. So what we're going to be looking at today is doing a two-step chemical reaction to essentially turn this into this. Okay, and we can see that there's a bouncy squidgy egg. Okay, so before we start, I just need to run through some health and safety stuff with you. So if you are doing this experiment, please make sure that any slipping or tripping hazards, you've taken care of those and everything's put away. And also today we are going to be using vinegar, we're going to be using a glass, and we're also going to be using an egg. So younger scientists might need some help from an adult for this experiment. So effectively, what we're going to do is we're going to dissolve the shell off this egg. And to do that, we are going to take an egg and we're going to put that into a glass or put it into a jar. Now, you might need an adult's help to do that because we don't want to crack the egg. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to submerge this egg in any type of vinegar. So it could be chip shop vinegar that you got at home, it could be malt vinegar, it could be white wine vinegar, or it could be just normal white vinegar. Okay, now this reaction's happening pretty fast and I don't know if you can see this, but we've got bubbles forming already around the outside of that egg, and we know that we've got a formation of gas, and so we know that there's a chemical reaction going on there. So to carry out this experiment fully, it takes a little bit of time. So what you would need to do is you need to leave your egg in your glass of vinegar for 24 hours. And once 24 hours is over, what you will then need to do is to get maybe an adult to help you, pour away the vinegar that is around that egg, and you'll already see that the shell has really started to soften. You're then going to pour some more fresh vinegar onto that egg and leave it for another 24 hours, okay? Once you've done that, you've waited for a total of 48 hours, you're going to take your egg and you're going to pour the vinegar away really, really carefully down the sink. Again, you might need the help of an adult to do that. What you're then going to do is really gently rinse that egg under a gently flowing tap, okay? And what you're going to do is you're just going to get that last little bit of residue of shell off the outside of your egg, and then you should be left with a squidgy egg. Now, the reason that this egg is squidgy is because that underneath the shell of a chicken's egg, and in fact all eggs, there is this protective membrane that is around the fetus of the bird and also protecting the yolk. Underneath that is the albumin, which kind of acts like a barrier to types of bacteria and anything like that that might make its way through the shell and perhaps through the membrane, okay? But this makes a really rubbery membrane around the outside of that egg, okay? Now, if we were to take a torch, you've all got one of these on your phone, and we can shine it through the egg, okay? You can see the yolk floating around at the top there is that dark bit. Now, in terms of the chemical reaction that's going on, this is a two-step chemical reaction. And so there's this chemical in vinegar that's called acetic acid, and this is the chemical formula for acetic acid. Shells of birds are made out of this particular type of compound, which is called calcium carbonate. So the Ca stands for calcium and the CO3 stands for carbonate. Now, when they undergo a chemical reaction, they produce carbonic acid and calcium acetate. Calcium acetate. So once we've produced carbonic acid, that carbonic acid then dissociates into water and into carbon dioxide, which is then given off as bubbles around the outside of the egg. So we can see that this reaction is really, really, really fast actually, but because that shell's so thick, it's going to take quite a long time to actually dissolve all of that calcium out of it. So to recap, we've dissolved the shell off the egg, and the main constituent, or the main part of the eggshell, is made out of calcium carbonate, and that reacts with the acetic acid, which is found naturally in vinegar, to give us carbonic acid, and then that carbonic acid dissociates into water and carbon dioxide, and that two-step chemical reaction is going there. We also learned that the egg has got a membrane that helps to protect it if the shell becomes damaged, and also underneath the white of the egg is called the albumin, and that stops bacteria from making its way all the way to the unhatched egg and to the yolk. Well, I hope you've learned quite a lot in this video, and I hope you've enjoyed Science Fest. If you do have any videos or take any photographs of you carrying out any of the experiments or undertaking any of the activities, please feel free to upload them to our Facebook page. But please be aware that if you do upload your photographs to our Facebook, you are giving us consent to use them and then repost them on other social media. Hope you've had a really good time today, and thanks very much from Burnley College.